All right. Hello all, and thank you for joining us this evening. This is the April 2024 public meeting of ANC3C. So we will get started. We record these meetings and post them to our YouTube channel and our website, just for everyone's awareness. So we will establish a quorum first. So 3C05.
3C05 is here.
3C06 is not here, correct? 3C07.
07 is here.
3C08 is also absent. 3C01.
3C01 is here.
3C02.
Present.
3C03 is me, and I am obviously here. And 3C04.
Present.
Wonderful. With that, we do have a quorum. I will verify that we did notice the listservs and our Twitter account, our notice list, and our website. We will now move on to the approval of the agenda and the consent calendar. The consent calendar items that would be approved if we approve the agenda and these items is the approval of the March 2024 meeting minutes, a letter supporting Cleveland Park Promenade Sidewalk Cafe permits, a resolution in opposition to the Initiative Amendment Act of 2023. Does anyone have any changes to our agenda items? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please raise your hand or say aye. All right, I see everybody's hands. Wonderful. With that, the items on consent and our agenda moving forward this evening are approved. Thank you. We will now move on to announcements. Single member district reports. Does anyone want to volunteer to provide a single member district report? Commissioner Siddiqui.
Just wanted to let everyone know that, and this is really in Commissioner Gordon's district, but since I'm the right opposite from her, there's a group of neighbors that are collecting funding to help garden in the new promenade. So please encourage you all to help them out and volunteer and help in any way. And if I'll be putting the details in the chat in a second for how you can help out and volunteer and donate.
Great, and we can include that. We were going to send a more general, like, events and announcements newsletter via our mailing list, so we can definitely include that in that piece. So thank you for that. Anyone else? Single member district reports. I will say that while this isn't my single member district, but somebody did inquire as to why the lights on the William Howard Taft Bridge are on 24/7. So DDOT got back to me and said that there was an issue with the lights not turning on the bridge, and they went and fixed that. However, they currently cannot turn the lights off on the bridge, but this will be fixed when they come and do the smart lighting project, which is scheduled to happen in May, when they go and replace the lights with the LED lights and stuff like that. So we're aware, can't be fixed right now, but shortly. So just wanted to provide an update on that. Anyone else? Single member district reports, going once, going twice. Commissioner Krupke.
Just a quick one that there's a bunch of repaving going on in ANC3C, especially in Woodley Park. The DDOT said that they're going to be repaving over the next couple of weeks a bunch of streets in our area. So just be aware of that. It'd probably be disrupting traffic and parking for a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Last call. All right, we'll move on to committee report, safe, sustainable, and equitable transportation.
We did not have a meeting last month. However, I do think we will likely be meeting next month, which is Wednesday, May 8th at 7 p.m., primarily because of the mayor's decision on Concept C. So there's a lot of committee members that have requested a meeting. We're passing a budget letter today, but I believe people would want follow-up and other items. So we will likely meet May 8th.
Great, thank you. Transparency and public process.
We had a meeting earlier this month to talk about our budget letter about the mayor's proposed budget. And I do not anticipate that we will hopefully not have to meet for the remainder of this year.
All right, thank you for that. Community engagement and grants.
Sorry. Yes, we did meet. We'll be taking up the issue that we talked about in the committee meeting as part of the business of today. And it was a quick meeting, but a very fruitful one. So looking forward to it. I think we probably will convene at the committee again at the end of this month to consider another grant proposal, which I'll circulate shortly.
Great, thank you. Planning, zoning, housing, and economic development. We do have a couple of BZA applications that have come to us. So we will be meeting on May 6th at 6:30 to review those and possibly have a presentation and discussion from the Office of Planning, but more to come on that once we finalize that agenda. So look for that notice. We did not meet this past month. Residential historic preservation.
There's one application, which is actually within my SMD that we will need to hear in May. So we will likely be meeting right after the timing for the planning, zoning, housing, economic development.
Cool.
So 7:30 p.m. May
6th.
6th. Yes.
Cool. Environmental justice.
We did not meet this month, so no report. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 14th.
Cool. Thank you. Public safety.
We also met earlier this month to talk about 3 pieces of legislation before council discussing truancy. We are still obviously looking that over. Our next meeting, should we need one, would be May 15th.
Great. All right. That concludes the committee reports. Announcements from mayor, council, any agencies or community organizations, starting with the mayor's office. Matthew, do you have anything for us this evening? Where'd you go?
He's scared of us. Matthew.
All right.
There he is.
Oh, sorry. I was cleaning up my dinner. All right,
Great.
everyone. Matthew Barclay, Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services here. I think while I will drop my information in the chat, please reach out if you ever need any government assistance from any issue that you may have. This week's talking points, budget.dc.gov to check out the budget. There's a lot of information there. And so we encourage you to look at that. Also this week, the MPD and Mayor Bowser unveiled the MPD's Real-Time Crime Center and launched the Camera Connect DC program. The Real-Time Crime Center, which has been staffed by MPD since mid-February, is part of the mayor's significant investments in public safety. It's also reflected in our 2025 budget. And then the the Camera Connect DC is a new initiative that allows residents and businesses to more effectively and efficiently share security camera footage with the Real-Time Crime Center to support MPD with investigating crimes. That happened this week, so I encourage you to check that out.
Sorry, I want to interrupt there for a second because I had a question relevant and relative to that.
Yes.
So if you use the camera rebate fund program thing,
Mhm.
that your address wasn't entered into a database in that process, so you have to like go through this thing to register your camera again, or no? That was
so
getting
I,
a question.
I believe this is, I might be wrong here, so I don't want to say that, but I think this is just a way for you to efficiently share security camera footage with MPD. So I can get you more information, but you can go to mpddc.dc.gov/CameraConnectDC to learn more.
Janelle, this is Lauren. I think that's correct. I think that until now, it's just that it gives you a camera to have so that MPD can see that and request footage. And I think this just facilitates that transfer of footage more easily. But I don't think previously that the camera rebate program put you into a database. And I think that was part of the appeal of it to some constituents, is that it did not obligate you to provide footage, but it did make it possible that you could, upon request, if you felt like it, provide that footage on a case by case basis.
But this is still not having these cameras be connected to the CCTV program, or to the system.
Correct.
Like they're
Right.
not be able to like live.
No.
Okay,
no.
that was the bit that was making people
Yeah.
nervous.
No. I think what
Every-
it does is it makes it, sorry, Matthew, to totally supersede. I'm trying to help us all be informed here. And
100%.
certainly, Matthew, if you know anything different, let me know. But to your point, Janelle, yes, correct. It's no one is more connected. No one is obligated to do anything just by participating in the camera rebate program. But it does improve the speed with which this information can be shared with MPD, I think, and then therefore utilized for them in addressing crimes.
Great. Yeah, it just improves the canvassing efforts of the detectives investigating anything, right? So that's good to know. Thank you. Carry on, Matt.
And mpddc or mpd.dc.gov/CameraConnectDC. All right. Thank you, Lauren. This week as well, Mayor Bowser and Fire and EMS launched the Automated External Defibrillator Incentive Program. So this program aims to close disparities in survival rates in areas with low AED access. So the program supports the purchase of AEDs by offering a cash rebate of up to $400 for each device purchased and installed, and up to $750 total small businesses, places of worship, condos, co-ops, nonprofits. So that's great. As also, this week, Mayor Bowser recommitted to Strong Families, Strong Futures DC, where so this is where expectant mothers and mothers of children under age of 3 will get direct cash assistance payments. In 2024 fiscal year budget, the program received $1 million, and this year it will be also getting $1 million. So that is a positive thing as well. So that's all I have for you guys today.
Great. Thank you. All right, Lauren, did you have anything for us today?
Yes, I have a couple of things. Hi, I'm Lauren from Councilmember Fruman's office, Constituent Services Director. We have a workday in the ward coming up on April 25th from 8 to 11. We will be at Tate in Cathedral Commons area, and the council member will be there the entire time. So we encourage constituents to stop by, commissioners to stop by. If you have issues or just topics of discussion with any one of the staff or the council member. Also, I will be sharing in the chat a link that gives the council members kind of reaction to the budget. So encourage everyone to read that. We also, in response to the council member's question to the DDOT director about the Connecticut Avenue bike lanes, were informed that bike lanes are no longer a part of the plan, that they will be moving forward with. So we will be coming out with a statement in response to that. As you all know, that the council member has until now been very supportive of bike lanes being involved in that multimodal project along Connecticut Avenue. So please stay tuned for that. So I will share a link to his response to the budget in the chat. And then also please stay tuned to the council members' social media. And if you're not signed up, please sign up for the newsletter, as we will be sending out communication regarding other important topics as the budget discussions and oversight evolve. And I think that is it. Oh, the Wilson Aquatic Center, again, in response to the council member's question to the DGS director, he indicated that they are aiming for an opening date around Memorial Day weekend. They are about 90% complete with their repairs. It ended up being a $2.5 million project, and we understand that some of the delay was to find funding to help cover that gap. So we are closer than ever and feeling a little bit more confident than we have previously that we are extremely close to opening. And I will share information about our workday in the ward and the council members' response to the budget in the chat. Are there any questions?
Lauren, I put those 2 links in the chat, just if you can check they're okay. If not, you can send me the link you want to paste in the chat.
You are good. Yes, those are perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Great. Thank you. All right. Any agencies or other DC government folks on the line want to share out anything or announce anything? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to community organizations. Bob Ward, thank you for patiently waving your hand and waiting. You're up. Bob?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Bob,
Thanks.
you're unmuted now, but we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear
We
it.
can hear you a little muffled.
Okay. Okay. I'll try and speak loudly. I just wanted to let everyone know that in the lobby of the Cleveland Park Library lives the interactive exhibit for Undesign the Red Line, which is a study on the systemic racism that excluded Black residents in DC from home ownership. Undesign the Red Line is a national program that travels from city to city. This is the first place they've done it in a green line neighborhood, which was built to exclude. And they're very excited to take that approach to looking at the history. So I encourage folks to check it out. It's there through July 11th. And across the 3 months that it'll be at the library, there's a series of programs that will be happening. The first one starts tomorrow night, but if you go to the website undesignedc.org, let me see, I'll get the URL, we can put it in the chat, I'll send it to you, Swale. But there's a list of programs that happen. I'll be giving one on Thursday, May the 2nd on the Untold Story of Cleveland Park. But there's a lot of great programs that people should check out while this exhibit exists. So that's all. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. And thanks to everyone who helped organize and put this together. It's really a great exhibit. And I'm glad that we were able to get it in the library for as long as we have. And the programming sounds awesome. So thank you again for your help and leadership with this project. All right, Cassandra from the Cleveland Park Main Streets.
Thank you very much, Janelle. And thank you, Swale, for mentioning the Cleveland Park Promenade Gardeners. I was going to say that, so you beat me to it. I just wanted to let everyone know that last Thursday, 10 endangered animal sculptures were installed on lampposts between Woodley Park and Cleveland Park. I don't know if anyone has noticed them yet. We will be having a ribbon cutting for them on Saturday, April 27th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Remarks will be made around 11 in front of 3000 Connecticut. But between 11 and 1, you can stroll up or down Connecticut Avenue. There'll be musicians there. The artist who created the sculptures will be there. So it should be a lot of fun. On April 23rd, oh my gosh, is that already next week? Oh, we're having a Stitch and Sip happy hour at Paragon Tie. It's free. You can come and knit or crochet or cross stitch, whatever you want to do. So, all right. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. I thought I saw Robert from Woodley Park Main Streets.
I'm here, but Cassandra basically said everything that we needed to say. I was curious if anybody had seen the statues and had any questions or comments. I can't wait to officially launch it. It's been a 2-year labor of love for Cassandra and for me, and yeah, I'm happy to see them up there.
I saw 2 of them today while I was walking back from Cleveland Park to Woodley Park, and they were very, very nicely done.
Wonderful. One of the artists, Carly, actually lives up just in the zoo area. She's the one who created the bison. So it's not just people from all over DC, it's people from our neighborhood as well. And I can't wait to see if we can't get her to come to a WPCA to talk about what she's put up in the neighborhood. It's yeah, I think it's going to be great to talk about, but more soon.
Yeah, I've seen them too, but I mainly have been on the other side of this street, but I see them every day. But I was wondering if they do have the QR codes up yet on the poles for people to get more information. I just haven't walked close enough. I apologize if they're there or if they're coming.
They are there. The one thing I will caution is that you need to jiggle around with your phone a little bit because because of the way that the posts are shaped. You're not getting a straight shot at the QR code, which is a little confusing. But generally it works. The nice guys from DDOT who put everything up had a little fun. They couldn't get it to work, and the reason why is because DC government had blocked their phones from using QR codes to log into things. It took us about 20 minutes to figure that out, but it should work. And I think they're all on the right ones. We're still getting rid of some of the bugs, but we'll have it done by next week.
Okay, great. Good to know. Thank you. All right. Anyone else for announcements? All righty. Seeing and hearing none, we will now move on to the community forum. This is the opportunity for members of the public to ask questions, raise concerns about issues that are not otherwise on the agenda. Anyone have any issues or concerns to raise from the public? Please raise your virtual hand or get on video and raise your hand. Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll move on to commission business, and we'll start with the letter regarding the fiscal year 2025 budget. Commissioner Siddiqui, do you want to run point introducing this?
Sure. Just want to thank Commissioner Prinzo for organizing the meeting, which led to this letter, and also you, Commissioner Pagets, in addition to Commissioner Prinzo, who helped draft a bunch of the items in here. I'm pasting a copy of the letter in the chat so people can follow along. It's been on our website. It's a little long, so I do not plan on reading the entire letter. I just wanted to go through the salient points of what we're requesting. The first set of items are for the Committee on Transportation and the Environment, and we're requesting that the budget for the Connecticut Avenue Reversal Lane Study should include a requirement for protected bike lanes. And specifically, to be free from doubt, the council should include language that specifically denies the District Department of Transportation access to any funds that would pursue changes to the current configuration of Connecticut Avenue between Calvert Street Northwest and Legation Street Northwest that does not include a protected bike lane. The text goes on to cite our resolutions in support, which are a total of 1, 2, 3 resolutions, and then 2 additional letters. Just to point out, we have yet to receive a response from the mayor's office or DDOT for our last 2 letters, which means they are past the deadline for which they're supposed to respond to ANCs. This unilateral decision without any community or council engagement, and barely any details, goes against the principles of democracy, public safety, and the revival of downtown. The ANCs overwhelmingly voted for this. This concept was evolved through over 70 community engagement meetings run by the mayor and the DDOT. The mayor herself chose this, and there have been barely any details going against her decision and the decision of the community. Furthermore, adding parking to the avenue further endangers people. While crashes involving parked cars aren't as fatal as moving cars, they are more dangerous and more frequent, specifically for children, where sightlines are disturbed when cars are pulling in and out of parking spots. The letter cites a number of studies which have shown this. This letter, and then finally, this also goes against the mayor's goals of promoting downtown, because essentially she's clogging Connecticut Avenue by adding parking for no reason, and then also clogging and then not adding an alternative form of transportation that could really make this a real entry into the city. So that's our first item. Our second item for this committee is to reduce the $177.6 million budget for paving streets by at least 10%. By DDOT's own admission, 88% of roads are in excellent to fair condition. And so we really think this is an overuse of funds and this should be reduced. And we also want to thank for the installation of improved safety barriers on the William Howard Taft Bridge. And again, Commissioner Paggett's led on this issue. We thank all those who have progressed this important project forward and strongly support funding the final design and construction of the pedestrian railing improvement project. For the committee of the whole, we have an item on restoring DC public schools budget to FY24 levels. We also comment on the Office of State Superintendent of Education Transportation budget and urge them to find staff for the 92 full-time positions that have been vacant since January 2022, among other things. Sticking with the Office of State State Superintendent of Education, we would urge the council to restore DC's Early Childhood Educator Pay Equity Fund. The mayor's budget eliminates funding for Early Childhood Educator Pay Equity Fund, and DC faces a humongous childcare crisis, and this crisis affects children, families, and educators. This fund supplements the salaries of qualified early childhood educators, and it's critical to allow them to earn a living wage, and then it enables DC children to benefit from programs that can attract and retain qualified educators. For Committee of Housing, we're requesting including further cuts to the Office of Advisory Neighborhood Commission budget. Our previous letter outlines how we believe the OANC has lost its mission. In its latest strategic plans, it departs from that mission and expands the OANC's role. We believe that the OANC, and it has gotten admonished by the Attorney General's office for advancing beyond this role as well. So we believe that these funds need to be cut. And that are the items that we have. I would like to move this letter. Could I get a second?
Second.
All right. With that, we'll open it up first to discussion among commissioners. Commissioner Prinzo.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioner Paggett and Siddiqui, for your help writing this letter. I have just a couple things. Firstly, I think we've all understood that my stance on the Connecticut Avenue bike lanes as a visually impaired person who just recently got a driver's license and does not really enjoy driving, period. I feel as though I am better in control of a bike than a car, so I would like to be able to ride from Cleveland Park to Woodley Park without having to wait 20 to however long the L2 takes, or the 8 minutes for the metro when you have just missed it. It's very annoying. I also don't want to ride on the sidewalk because there are a multitude of reasons, mainly being the tourists that clog Connecticut Avenue by the zoo, and for our elderly residents that need some more space on the sidewalk, and families that walk together as well. So the bike lanes would have been the perfect solution for people of all walks of life. And I think that there is a miscommunication or a misinformation that's going around about disabled people in bike lanes. And as a disabled person, I don't appreciate disabled people being used in that manner. When it comes to DCPS, I completely agree. I mean, we shouldn't be cutting our teachers when we have a blatant truancy problem in the city. And we are trying to get a handle on it in ways that just don't make sense, like threatening to put parents in prison and things along that line. And, you know, we also are finding money to jet off to Georgia to attend a golf tournament. So I just think, you know, cuts to DCPS totally inappropriate in this day and age. And I mean, OANC has become too big and too unnecessary, and it at this point I think violates like 9 different statutes that has been created to govern it. So it's time for somebody to deal with them. But that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Geis?
Thank you, Chair Pagets. I want to second and echo the sentiments of Commissioners Prinzo and Siddiqui. Yeah, just full out. I think that what this recent moves and indications from the DDOT leadership and from this budget indicate is that like we are living in the post-truth, post-fact society that none of us asked for or voted for in any DC election. Pretty clearly, I think if we look at all the facts, the numbers are there, protected bike lanes work and prevent death. That's just the fact, like that, I think that we can make a lot of tailored arguments that are incredibly well-meaning and true. But I don't think that is an exercise that we should have to participate in. Like the facts are like, this will reduce deaths. Another fact, I don't ride a bike, I drive. I think anyone who drives in DC has to contend with bike lanes, protected bike lanes anyway. That's a reality. I don't know if you can get to downtown without encountering protected bike lane, even from the Chevy Chase side of Maryland. I don't think there's any legitimate line of reasoning that is being sold to us to justify these decisions that holds any water. So maybe we shouldn't do that. And I think the language in this letter excellently articulates that we should stay the course with the plan that has been the plan for the last 3 years, and we should not be waiting until 2028 or later to start putting the lanes together. Anyway, sorry, I'm not being incredibly succinct here. Also, we should not cut public school funds. I thought we all understood that. I guess not. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you, Chair Pagets.
Thank you. Commissioner Kripke?
Thanks. I won't repeat the good comments that have already been made, but just to thank commissioners for supporting the language on the early childhood equitable pay fund, which is a new initiative that's still being implemented to try to provide some support for our caregivers and early educators who are often very underpaid, which is a problem in itself, but also creates a broader problem for families in the district who have terrible trouble finding childcare at all and early education, and then finding it at affordable levels. So it's been DC has gone from being a real leader in the country to having this program, which is really innovative, and the national leader being cut by the mayor's budget, and it's really disappointing and will exacerbate crisis that families are facing in the district with not having affordable or accessible childcare. So I appreciate including that. I think it's really important that we go on record on that. I appreciate the other comments about the bike lane. It's time to be serious about it. I'm very frustrated with the mayor's actions here, waffling on the decision. For me, the bike lanes is an issue of inclusivity, basically making road space, which is public space, and is inherently scarce, and therefore has to be negotiated between different interests, between cars, between pedestrians, between all the users. And what the mayor's saying is that there are some people on scooters, on mobility devices, on bikes, who aren't accommodated in our public spaces. And those people include me, but also include people who can't drive because they're not eligible. My kids, for example, or who or can't afford cars and so forth. So to me, the issue is about safety, number one, but also about inclusivity. And we see that bike riding in the district is exploding. The share bikes that are being used every month is another record in usage. So there's a lot of demand for it, especially among tourists. And we get 2 million visitors a year to the zoo. And if we could put some of them on bikes rather than cars or taxis, that would really be a benefit for our neighborhood. Okay, I'll stop there.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Prinzel, if I'm gonna let
Go ahead.
Eric go, if did you want to say anything?
I just wanted to piggyback off of something that Commissioner Kripke said about can't afford to drive. I don't know how many people in this meeting have gone to get a driver's license in the past like 5-ish years, but it is about $87 just to get it's $47 for the physical piece of plastic itself. And that doesn't include the $20 fee to take the road test, plus another $20 if you need to borrow a car from the city. Like, it's very expensive just to get a driver's license. So he's very on point with that.
Well, and then you have to pay for the car.
There you go. And gas.
Commissioner McCorston, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I'd also like to add my support to the part of the letter about the bike lanes. I second what everyone else has said and would like to emphasize that I support bike lanes and Concept C as a traffic calming measure.
Oh, I think you might have.
You hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. Connecticut Ave runs right through my SMD. So pretty much all my constituents live directly on Connecticut Ave. And the mayor's signaling is putting the interests of commuters who don't live here over the physical safety of DC residents who do live here and use Connecticut Ave as our neighborhood streets and not as a roadway for car commuters. So I wanted to just emphasize those points in expressing my support for the letter.
Thank you. I obviously co-sign and think everybody has made really great points and comments this evening and all along the way of this process. It's unfortunate that it seems like the rug was pulled out from under us with moving this forward. And I just want to say, like, from someone who walks the sidewalks in front of the zoo every day, they get quite crowded with people walking with strollers, and then you add the scooters and you add the bicycles on the sidewalk. It's just a very hostile, jostly space. And it's because there's a lack of it and a desire for folks to use it. So to the people who complain about the bikes and the scooters and the things that are on the sidewalk, we need a place for them to be that's not the sidewalk. And that would have been the bicycle lane. So I don't understand what the pedestrian safety improvement plan aspect of the new plan is, with including like bulb outs or whatever, but it's not going to be safe unless the plan is to extend the sidewalk, all of the sidewalks, the entire length of Connecticut Avenue, to allow for more space on the sidewalks for more of the people who want to use the sidewalk space. So it just doesn't make sense because, you know, as Commissioner Kripke rightfully points out, there is a finite amount of space to use, and we need to look at how to adjust how that space is allocated so that it works for most people most of the time. And it currently does not do that. So, and I also want to say to my neighbors, all of our neighbors who participated in those walkthroughs, the block by block detailed walkthroughs with DDOT, to voice their concerns about the plan and to participate in this process, even though they did not necessarily agree with Concept C, they took time out of their day to participate in having their concerns heard and walking through the plan. And I am so sorry, although I shouldn't be the one apologizing to them. that was the mayor who took their time and contributions for granted and clearly didn't value their, you know, taking away the time that they could have spent doing anything else. So we're clearly, you know, trying to move forward here, and hopefully get this plan back on track. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Any other commissioners have comments before we turn over to public comments on this? All right. Anyone in the public wish to comment on this? Emily, I see your hand is up, and then Bob Ward. Emily, you're up.
There we go. I just want to thank you for the resolution regarding restoring the DC's Early Childhood Educator Pay Equity Fund. Thank you very much for that. And I simply want to point out that extensive research shows us, both in the United States and abroad, that investing in the early years has a significant impact on lowering criminality, juvenile delinquency, and everything else that we have been dealing with in our neighborhood. And I think this was a very mistaken placement of priorities. I was absolutely astounded that this would occur. And I think we should forcefully request that maybe some of that money that comes out of extra, very expensive road repair go to this. We should put our children up at the highest level of priority. And I feel that this is something that we need to advocate in the neighborhood. If this is something that requires us to do in beyond just the resolution, we should do it. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Bob.
Hi, thanks. Great letter. I really think the language on the bike lanes is important. In December 2021, Mayor said when she selected Concept C that the bike lanes on Connecticut Avenue would make DC more green, more safe, and less reliant on cars. And now her 180-degree turn on this makes us less safe, less green, and still very much reliant on cars. And I think it's a big mistake. I'm looking forward to reading the statement from Councilmember Fruman's office, because I think that is where the priority needs to be, is at the council. And don't fund this thing unless it has bike lanes. So thank you for the letter.
Great, thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to make a comment? Mitchell.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to say, on behalf of families with young children who love calling DC home and see the hard work that the educators in the early childhood enrichment field do, and all the contributions that they make to our children and to the future of DC, a sincere thanks for requesting the full reinstatement of the Pay Equity Fund. And it's a big thanks for the commissioners. I know it's a special effort for ANC commissioners to consider and add this request into the letter. And my family and I, on behalf of all in DC, are grateful to you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else, you can come on camera and raise your hand or raise your virtual hand. All right. Seeing no others. Any other comments from commissioners? All right. With that, I suggest that we're ready to move to vote on this letter that is ANC3C comments on the mayor's proposed fiscal year 25 budget Fair Shot, and Shared Sacrifices. All those in favor of supporting this letter, raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands are up. All those opposed, there are none. We have 2 commissioners absent, so we will mark that as pass 6-0-0. Thank you all. And as a reminder to you all and the public, you can sign up to testify as a public witness at any of the council's budget oversight hearings or submit written comments into the record. So that is all available at the council's website in their hearing management system. And you can register there and submit your comments there. So with that, we will move on to our next item on commission business, which is the resolution to provide a grant of $5,000 for the Cleveland and Woodley Park Village, supporting mailers promoting a concert series. Commissioner Kripke, do you want to introduce this, please?
Yes. As I mentioned in the committee report, we received an application from the villages to support their concert series. They're their free outdoor concert series that are open to the community and are a great way to build community and build interaction intergenerationally and among neighbors. I've gone to a bunch of them. They're really fun and they are very open and great. And so the application was to support the concert, specifically to help them do outreach towards older residents of our area because they can need special outreach. So this is to provide mailings to them, which is a better way of reaching some of them than through social media or other forms. And we considered the grant, and generally it looks good. The Office of ANC approved it as a eligible grant, and so we have a resolution before us to authorize the grant to the villages. I'm not sure there's more to say, but if I can, I'd like to invite Frank to make a comment here.
Great, thank you. Yes, thanks for this opportunity to apply for this grant. It is really helpful in addition to all of the other ways that we do outreach to the community through listservs, through posters and various mailing lists. It's really important to be able to get into the mailboxes of older adults. And we found that that's the best way to get them to these activities, which helps to reduce their social isolation, which improves their health. And so that's really the reason why we're asking for these funds, because we want to promote health and help older adults remain living within our community. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about it.
Great.
Thanks, Commissioner Pagetts. I'll send it back to you.
So you're making the motion to move the
Yes,
resolution?
I would like to move move the resolution.
Great.
Second.
All right. Hearing a second, couple of them. All right, so we'll move on to commissioner discussion of the grant. I know a few of us were at the grants committee meeting, so there's that. Commissioner Siddiqui.
Yeah, I was there. I've already expressed my full support. I just want to thank Frank for coming to a second meeting for this. So sorry about that. But you also didn't have to. I think we all really appreciated you coming at the first meeting and detailing, but really appreciate this and all the work you do, and hopefully this will help once we pass it. So
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, I also second that, and also want to thank Commissioner Kripke for working on this and pursuing the OANC approval process. It's fun.
I think he accomplished the impossible. So
yeah, I was impressed. All right. Any other commissioners have comments, questions? Anyone from the public have any comments or questions on this matter? All right, seeing none, I move that we take a vote on this to approve the resolution to provide a grant of $5,000 for the Cleveland and Woodley Park Village supporting mailers promoting a concert series. All those in favor of this resolution, please raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, is there anyone changing their mind and saying no? Seeing none and having 2 commissioners absent, this passes 6-0-0. Cool. Thanks again, everyone. All
Thank
right,
you much.
treasurer's report.
I do have a report. So I have access to our new treasurer system. Unfortunately, it requires addition of a lot of old data, including our budget that wasn't transferred over. So I just need a little bit of time to upload those, but I should be able to get everything else in there. Other than that, thank you, officers, for signing the security fund forms. I've sent those back to the DC auditor. I believe that was our last item that was remaining with that. Really appreciate you all. And we made 2 expenditures this past month. Both have been approved before.
You can make this
One
over here,
was,
but
and I'm
when I
just
sign-
bringing up the exact value. One was a $442 check to District Bridges for the Promenade event. And then another was $150 to Waters Ward LLC for web hosting. And that is the treasurer's report.
Do we
Great.
still not have a security fund approved? Just a question.
It's in process.
I'm assuming it's approved because they said we only needed a certain thing and we sent it to them.
Oh, okay. We approved this in January, so I just feel like it's yet another thing that takes them forever to do.
Our commission is not at all alone.
No, I know. I hear you.
Board, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was just curious, how much do you have in the bank? Roughly.
I know you ask this question every time, Bob. I
know
have
I
to pull
do.
it up, but it is upwards of $90,000. So yeah, we have money.
And we did in our last meeting approve a few items, expense items regarding Cleveland Park Day. So the dunk tank, the stage and the sound and all of that. So we will be spending money. It's just slow.
And Bob, I don't have the exact value because I can pull it up in our checking accounts, but ANC system has been changed and I just need to upload all the data. So maybe when you ask next week, next month, I can give you the exact dollar and cent amount.
Great. All right. Anybody else have questions or comments on the treasurer's report? All right. Seeing and hearing none. Anyone want to make a motion
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, raise your hand or say aye. And hopefully I'll see some of you out there cheering on the bike party that's coming up the avenue this evening. So, all right. Thank you all.